house as old as this one becomes, in time, a living thing.
Never go below this level.
It starts holding on to things.
Has anyone died in this house? Specific deaths, violent deaths.
Guillermo del Toro has an extremely large fan base. You know, and they're loyal.
Yeah.
And they're large.
And they're large. And you know, as my man is.
Yeah.
But you know, as loyal as they are, and as much as Guillermo del Toro loves to go in and try different things, he's dabbled in animation, science fiction. But people say, you know what? I really like that good horror shit that Guillermo del Toro does.
You're right. He does like to mix things up. Like sometimes he'll do horror, and sometimes he'll do sci-fi, and then another movie he'll do horror. He might do sci-fi,
and then he'll do some sci-fi.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the difference, Martin. Some days he does horror and then sci-fi, and then other times he does sci-fi and then horror, man.
Yeah.
And he might even throw a little comic book adaptation in there for you. A man who's very diverse in his body of work.
Yeah. Very versatile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comic book adaptation of a horror comic.
Oh, my man loves to dabble in everything out there. But right now we're happy to report that he's going back into the horror and some of that good old haunted house horror.
Yeah.
Halloween is nigh, Tommy.
It is.
And a lot of people are saying, you know what? If anybody can come and bring the spirit of good old Halloween in the cinema, it's Guillermo del Toro with The Crimson Peak. And in this film right here, we have this young woman, Edith Cushing, played by Mia Wasikowska. Love that last name. And she is an aspiring writer who hopes to follow in the success of her idol, Mary Shelley. You know, Mary Shelley, that Frankenstein right there. A lot of people still don't know a woman wrote that. But she does. And she said, I'm going to be just like her. I'm going to write horror and ghost stories and all that good stuff. However, when a real horrible thing happens in her family, a real tragedy strikes her folks, or at least her father, her only solace is falling in love with the British aristocrat who whisked her away to England to live in a ragged-ass mansion with him and his bitchy-ass sister. Oh, and it just so happens that the house is haunted by some really freaky-looking ghosts who stalk her whenever she is alone, Martin. Just wait for her to go take a shit or something, and they like, hey, you been in there for a while.
Pop out of the toilet in between the legs.
Yeah.
Got to be.
Look what happened to me.
Oh, you know what? Remember watching the trailer a while back. And I was happy. I know they were going to they were talking about releasing this a little bit earlier, but then they said, you know what? No, we want to do this for Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. Because, you know, Guillermo del Toro, he's like, look what they did. Look at the haunted house I have here. Look at this. It's very spooky.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Look at this. It's eerie, creepy. You know, you have to release this on Halloween. That's how he talks. So
You actually not too far.
I know.
I was going to say, if you threw a lisp in there, you'd have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very enthusiastic guy. And I tell you, this one of the things that I love about this movie, the production, the set design is incredible in this film.
Yeah, you know what, man? You can't take it away from him. The guy is talented when it comes to giving a movie a look, especially this. I think this is his most beautiful looking movie.
It is. And you were talking about doing a mashup when we were talking yesterday about mashup movies. And this, I'll even go further with this. Yeah, the haunted house is creepy. He creates atmosphere, but he's able to actually, for a little while in the movie, make this nice Victorian era period piece.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, it starts out as just a straight period piece, and it works. I was like, well, shit, man, you could take on some of those, like Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah,
Some of Joe Wright's movies.
Yeah, exactly. What were those? The ones you used to always have Anthony Hopkins in them.
I don't know. You know me, I'm not that cultured,
yeah.
but I can tell you, as much as I like the atmosphere in this movie, with the heart of the atmosphere, the heart of that creepy element, the haunted house itself, maybe just a tad bit overboard.
I was about to say, it's a little over the top.
Just a little bit. When you move it into Tim Burton's summer home, it's just a little bit over the top.
Goodness, how many rooms are there?
I don't know.
This is your house, right?
The house is so big. You hear that shit? You're like, I was serious. I don't know.
Yeah, if I walked in there and I said, how many rooms in here? And he said, I don't know. I'd be like, Motherfucker, we squatting up. This ain't none of your house.
This ain't even your
This
house.
shit is run down.
Yeah, you a bum.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does it look the part?
It does. Although it's even colder inside than out.
I know, it's a disgrace. We try to maintain the house as best we can, but with the cold and the rain, it's impossible to stop the damp and erosion. And the mines right below, well, the wood is rotting, and the house is sinking.
House is so bad, so rickety. The house is actually menstruating.
It looks like
You see this?
Yeah, that's like some kind of liquid clay that's red, that's blood red.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, yeah, that's one of the amenities here. And it's a shame. Oh, yeah, there's holes in the roof and snow and rain come in. And isn't there like, you all gonna fix that, right?
Yeah, that motherfucker sounds like a shady realtor.
Yeah, when they go in,
It's quite all right, though.
yeah, look at this.
We try to maintain the house as best we can,
But we don't give a fuck.
It's a big ass hole in the roof, man.
It's a big fucking hole in the roof right there. It's been there for years. He just said,
He's
well,
just as gleeful.
Yes, but what are you going to do?
but but there's a ladder that doesn't reach that high, so fuck it, right? I mean, the house is so broken down. The house is just fucking bleeding everywhere.
It is.
The house. I mean, no shit. When they walk around the house, there's just blood coming out the walls and everything.
I mean, it's clay, but
But the house is hemorrhaging, man. It's so broke, man.
it's more like Laffy Taffy that's pouring down everywhere.
The house is saying, God damn, put a Band-Aid on this or something,
No, that
man.
house wants you to burn it down. It looks like.
Yeah.
Be out of my
It's,
misery.
it's one big open sore, is what this house is.
Fuck yeah.
It looks like one.
Look, the
It's
house
oozing like a
You
sore.
got a fucking open wound everywhere you look.
Oh. I'm grossed out by a house.
Yeah, when your house is on a permanent period, you know, it's like, hey, it's time to move, man.
It really is.
Yeah, you know that haunted house bleeding shit has gone a little bit too far.
Time to break that motherfucker down and start anew.
And put it out its misery.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's
The old yell of that shit.
take your house to the backyard and shoot it. Yeah, but you know. So what? I mean, the house is rickety. That's what makes haunted houses, right? I mean, it don't have to be that goddamn sorry, but at least it has atmosphere.
Now that it does.
Yeah, that it does. And you know, that sets up for what we really want to see. Yeah, the house is broken down. The house is sorry as hell, but I'm looking at, look at it's got great lighting though. It's got great shadows. I mean, the creep factor very high.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at this, and that's when I said, Martin, I was like, because I said, all right, you know what? I think they're going a little bit too far with the atmosphere, but at least I know I'm going to get some good old ghosts right here. Yeah. You know, you can't have a house like that and have it not be haunted by something. And the cool thing about it is that, you know, for a while, the ghosts, when you see them, they're actually really freaky enough looking to where you're kind of taken aback. And for a little while, it's spook house stuff, but at least Guillermo del Toro knows how to use the shadow and the spaces to make it somewhat creepy at first.
How did you get in there, you silly doggy?
That dog was like, yeah.
I'm over here.
That dog was like, yeah, bitch, who's silly now? Hey, I'm right here.
What the fuck?
Terribly sorry. It's all right.
You know, that's the thing about it. Guillermo del Toro just makes death look painful.
He really does.
It's like you ain't nothing but bones, and every bone got arthritis.
Yeah, so much for being a ghost that looks like a floating sheep.
I know. You think ghosts, you're gonna be all covered in light and a halo and everything. You look like an angel. No, it looks
like, oh my God, it's so painful.
I mean, every time a ghost is trying to like crawl out of a wall or the floor, like, God damn, shit! Fuck! God, give me some aspirin! Shit!
Don't just stand there, bitch.
Like the most painful sex you're like, oh shit, this fucking hurts! Shit, what you looking at, bitch? Because She just standing, just looking at me like, I'm in pain.
Give me a Band-Aid.
Those are some freaky ass ghosts.
Yeah, man. It really is like in Guillermo del Toro's world, like death, you look like a pile of ribs that's been eaten.
Yeah,
covered
a
in
little flesh on it,
covered in barbecue sauce. You know, look like those ribs you and Will ate today. You know?
Extra sauce
on there. But here's the thing, Mark, because I couldn't read you when I was sitting next to you. With ghosts that you have like this featured in the movie, where they look scary as hell and they moan real frighteningly, and it's just eerie when you see them move. That right there, I want to see what they would do with that to actually scare me. And yeah, man,
honestly, these ghosts are scary looking.
Yeah.
But once you get past the look of them, they don't do shit.
They don't. Yeah. All they do is just stand around, point, and they might try to talk. Don't fuck up like I did. You know, they're
not trying to murder anyone.
What they do is give you a warning that's so out of context that there's no way it could be at all effective. So by the time you get to that thing they were telling you about, you're like, oh, well, I'm here now. Hey, can I get just a little bit more instruction with your warning next time?
Because throughout the movie, they keep whispering, Crimson Peak. It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, she's told years in advance by a ghost, beware the Crimson Peak. And it's like, what the hell is that?
Is that a bar? You know, is that a strip club? What the fuck?
Means that black dude from Sicario. Hey, what the fuck does it mean?
And if that was a black chick, that's what she would have. All right, goddamn, what the fuck you talking about? And the ghost would have. Okay, all right. Look, these people fucking with you, okay? What the fuck did it take so long for? Oh shit, I got that laryngitis going on. But the problem with the ghost that he has in this movie is that he really does turn this into he uses them for cheap spook house effect. That stuff right there, when you saw the ghost pop out the closet and peek through, and you're like, what the fuck is that? That lasts for about one scene. And then you get tired of that point and shit and peekaboo shit.
Yeah.
The other thing is that by the time you do see the ghost, you get to see them in that full glory like that.
Yeah.
Again, like Martin and I were saying, they just stand there and just moan shit, don't run, get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like, all right, it would be nice if you could use these effects to actually scare somebody.
If they had some menace to them.
And they don't. It makes it clear from the very beginning that they're on her side. They're trying to tell her.
They're warning her, basically.
Yeah.
He really?
Can't get that phlegm out the throat.
Right.
Why would you do that with ghosts that look like this, though?
Well, here's the thing that I thought where he misstepped with this, or his big misfire here, is that he's trying to make a Victorian age murder mystery. Mm-hmm. And he puts more stock into telling that story. And, what happens here is that your ghosts aren't really that scary. It's your people they're not even scary. They're just weirder than the ghosts.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston. He's pretty much Loki on on sedatives, man. What can I tell you? But he's charming. Yeah. But there's something weird about him, and so he's doing that whole thing of the humans are worse than whatever we perceive to be bad.
Yeah, he travels around with his creepy ass sister, who's never charming at all.
Oh, not at all. And Jessica. I would say this much about Jessica Chastain. They lay her on too thick. She makes it clear from the very beginning. Who, by the way, Jessica Chastain cannot be in the same movie as Ghost without dyeing her hair black.
It's true.
Yeah, every time her spirit's around, for some reason, she got to get all gothed out and shit.
Ghosts don't like redheads.
No, they don't. No, they do not. I mean, they have to make her extra creepy.
Yeah.
But she does get crazy down in the film, man. It's just, it would have been nice if there had been a little subtlety instead of just appearing right on the screen and being like, I'm fucking crazy, right?
She knows who I am and she wants me to leave.
Nonsense, my dear. You're not going anywhere. You had a bad dream. You were sleepwalking.
No. I'm afraid I shall go mad if I stay.
My darling, you're imagining things. Tomorrow, why don't we go out to the post office? I think some fresh air would do you good.
the post office. That's where you. I
It's
thought
pretty boring where they live. I mean, it is like, hey, I'm gonna whisk you. We're gonna get married. I'm gonna whisk you to my home, which is out in the middle of nowhere. Like a dog shows up and like he's almost mad. He's like, how the fuck does dog get here? We don't have no neighbors around for miles.
I would just figure that if you live near nothing and you go for a day out, the post office is gonna be the last place you're gonna want to. I thought when he said, let's go out somewhere, I thought it was gonna be like to dinner or to the club, to a bar or something. Like, I have it. The post office. I heard 5 people behind me like, the post office.
No, I have to leave. I have to get away from here.
Edith, this is your home now. You have nowhere else to go.
Tom Hiddleston like, God damn, you don't know the meaning of the word subtle, do you?
I know.
At all.
We're trying to charm her. Hello.
You look like, Jesus fucking Christ. Can you just dial it back about 9 notches?
Like, we talked about this.
Creepy comes after we fucking murder her. But you know, with this film, that's the biggest problem, where whatever ghost story he's trying to tell, it's not only something that's not scary, but it's way conventional. You know, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to tell you what happens right here, but it's something that, with the ghost story, you've seen it enough to predict what's happening with that. And the murder mystery there projects itself about 5 steps ahead every time it's there. Yeah. It starts out kind of interesting. I mean, it starts out with Dad coming in and looking at Tom Hiddleston like, I don't know what the fuck y'all up to, but you better get out of my house. And
man, I love that actor who played her dad. He was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he dressed him down 2 or 3 times right off the bat. No bones about it. And he was such a great character. You know, it's too bad we couldn't have had him all through. It's almost like when he was gone, then that went what was good about the movie.
And that was Jim Beavers, the guy that plays him. And I don't have any clips of the father here. I don't have any pictures of him. But once Dad leaves the picture, once that guy's gone and not holding it down anymore, it's like he was holding the story together.
Exactly.
You know?
Because everything from the beginning up, you know, with every scene with him while he's in it, I was like, wow, I was talking shit about this movie from the trailer, but this is actually really good. Not after that. And Del Toro, he's one of these guys like Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, where it's like, man, you have talent. I wish you would just drop that need to put this shit in every movie. Because I think, like,
what need are you talking about?
To geek out.
And, okay, now I'm curious about this. In what way did you see him geeking out with this?
Well, okay, like another movie of his I like, because I don't like a lot of his movies, but one I really do like is The Devil's Backbone.
Yeah.
But when I watched The Devil's Backbone, I was like, man, you could take all the supernatural elements out of this movie and it would work probably better. Because he's got a good story going on there. It's just about real people. And when this in the beginning, just about, you know, just the characters, getting to know them all, the dynamic, and Tom Hiddleston coming in and seducing Mia Wachowski and the mystery of what these people are up to. That's fine. I was like, hey, I want to follow this. But then you got to bring in all the ghosts. And all they do is muddle things up and turn this and add a bunch of stuff. It's like, if it could have just stayed a murder mystery or just with creepy people, that could have been fun.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, for a ghost story, you ghosts are fucking this up.
Yeah, they really are.
It's like, you almost want to tell the ghost what they're like. Why don't you go ahead and leave, man?
You know what? I know we called you in, but we don't need you now.
Yeah, we got a real mystery going on over here. We don't know Scooby Doo shit with this.
I'm sure they're making the woman in black 3. So you know, audition for that.
Yeah, why don't you your ass on
That's
over
when
there?
that ghost was saying, well, it's in my contract.
And I don't know about you, man, but the middle of this movie, the second act, I thought was just so boring. I was like, I am struggling to stay awake through the middle of this movie. It's like, okay, she's running around, these ghosts show up, they're not doing anything, and she becomes annoying in as much as, like, once again, we have a character who has no inherent sense of self-survival. Like, weird shit is happening, and, okay, maybe she's not going to go like, I got to run away. Like that one scene where she's like, I got to go. And they're like, no, this is your home now. She drops it from there. But I'm like, there need to be a point where she acknowledged, like, hey, this is a weird situation you have me in.
But you know,
this house is messed up.
Yeah, but
what are you doing? Why is your sister acting like this?
And
I mean, just at least acknowledge it.
You know what it makes me upset about that? Because it all comes back to but I'm in love. You know, you deserve every fucking thing you get now.
How are you supposed to feel sympathy for someone like that?
That's the thing. It's like man, you could have wrote this to where I could feel sympathy for her because I liked her character a lot in the beginning.
She's kind of a dull character as the movie goes on. I mean, the sicker she gets, because there's a plot in there where she's getting a little bit ill. She's beginning to be kind of overpowered by the performances of Tom Hiddleston and what's her name? Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is hot with black hair.
She is.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. But her character just gets demeaned a little bit more to where the character you started out with, she don't really mean anything to the story. And on top of that,
she's a tough feminist character in the beginning.
In the beginning, all that shit about her, I want to be Mary Shelley and shit, that shit just gone. You know, it's almost like they took her novel and just threw that shit in the fire. But I was curious to ask you about geeking out, because this thing right here is like, man, it was almost like Guillermo del Toro was directing his own version of Pride and Prejudice, you know, like a good Victorian murder mystery. Yeah. But he had to do that shit where he's a fan of science fiction, horror, and gore. So it's like the movie just stops. It's like we go from Pride and Prejudice to Beetlejuice after a while.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Really?
Or we go from that to like a gore film. The movie's really unnecessarily gory in some parts. And by the end of the movie, although I kind of like this, it just loses its fucking mind. But
it's 3 different movies.
Yeah, and this whole thing with the crimson and the clay, that clay doesn't mean anything to the story except to show blood-drenched snow as a lot of blood and gore is going on within the story itself. I feel like Guillermo del Toro is a guy that can really make a great drama. I mean, Pan's Labyrinth, he had the right balance of this fantasy world and drama, that was an amazing movie. He has the ability to make a drama, a serious film, or even if it's something lighter, he has the ability to just tell a straight story. But he's sidetracked by, I want to show people my toys.
Exactly.
I want to show people monsters. I want to show people ghosts. You know, it's like, hey, man.
He is in that group with Tarantino and Rodriguez. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. You know, he grew up reading these kind of things, and monster films and comic books and whatnot, and he's a kid who's just distracted by that. It's not a bad movie. For Halloween, I would say that the atmosphere is great for that. But as far as the story goes, as I said, the ghost story doesn't scare. The murder mystery is too predictable. And for those two big things, I mean, you got 2 stories going on, which you kind of had going well together at first. When you drop the ball on both those, for me, it just comes out to a rental.
Yep. Honestly, had it not started out so strong, it would have been some old bullshit for me. Because just that middle, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
You said the thing that I was afraid of with this movie, because the trailer bored the shit out of me. I was like, I hope this isn't boring. And
right. Yeah, right at the point where I'm just like, man, I'm so glad this is not what I thought it was going to be. It said, huh? Oh, wait, yes, I am.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was one of those movies where they had jump scares and people just kind of like, you know, but in the good reviews that you're going to hear, this is why I say that he has a big fanboy fan base, because it's Guillermo del Toro. People are going to tell you, this is great horror, and this is why it works. They turn to Guillermo del Toro. Oh, let me tell you why this story works. And it's like, no. And look, just admit you kissing ass, you sucking dick, you know, or just admit, like, you know, I like this director and I'm biased. Even if some people are just kind of slightly scared by things, you might be scared of this, but don't come up here and tell me like, oh, it's a great story. No, it's not.
It's sad because even throughout, especially toward the end, it's like, man, there's some resources here, and you can still see his talent, but it's still not a good product.
Yeah, he's an extremely talented guy. I'm not trying to say anything bad. You know, I almost feel like, you know what, if you want to do a comic book, just do a comic book. You know, you might as well have have Hellboy walk through this shit.
He doesn't even do those well. So
no, he doesn't. I don't not like those Hellboy movies.
Not even a little bit.
And he really is getting. I didn't notice this. He really is getting to that stage where he doesn't like to give his creature eyeballs.
I told you, he hates it.
If he does, they're gonna be in the hands.
Yeah.
He'll put eyeballs everywhere. You know, you have a ghost star creature shit eyeballs.
You might.
Where were these? Up my ass?
Creature with nuts, like eyeball nuts and shit. Who knows with him? It's just
when Stevie Wonder dies, give his biopic to him.